Howdy folks, I'm nice northern cloudy wing, nonchalantly nomming on nutritious nectar.
I'm Amber.
And here's more nutritious nectar for us to nom on. But it wasn't nectar at all, it was tea, which was surprising because I thought it was going to be Reddit, but no, I guess we're just drinking tea. Let's get started. Oh, and folks, we have a live stream coming up on Friday. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making my boyfriend pay me back after he accidentally spent my grocery money on a video game? So I'm a 19-year-old female and my boyfriend is a 21-year-old male and we don't live together, but we sometimes grab groceries together when I stay over. Last week I gave him $50 in cash to pick up some basics while I was at work. Later I asked for the receipt and he got all weird about it. Turns out that he accidentally spent the money on a new game and said that he would cover the cost of the groceries next time. I told him that I wasn't okay with that since that was my food budget for the week. He got defensive, saying that it was an honest mistake and that I was making a big deal over nothing. I said that if it was a no big deal, that he could just give me the money back. He refused, saying that I should just let it go because he pays for things sometimes too, like an occasional takeout meal. I ended up just leaving and buying my own groceries, but now he is sulking and saying that I overreacted. Am I a jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. You don't just oopsie buy a video game. He took the money with the intention to buy the video game and didn't care that it would leave OP potentially without money for groceries for the week.
I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, video game stores and grocery stores are a lot alike. There are boxes on the shelves, and I mean, you go in, you might think that's an expensive box of cereal. I guess this is all I can afford this week. And so you go in, you buy your $50 box of cereal off the shelf, and you ring it up, and who hasn't accidentally bought a video game like that? I mean, it's a pretty easy mistake to make. I mean, in all seriousness, though, I mean, I don't think there was, of course, an accident here at all. I think that he was just got $50 and it burned a hole in his pocket, and he's like, "Yep, I'm gonna go and get myself some video games."
Right. I mean, he needs to be a responsible enough adult to be able to buy groceries. Like, he's just shown he's not a trustworthy partner. The OP cannot delegate a simple task to him because then he just blows the money on something fun instead of what they need, which is food.
Yeah, and I think that's really the big lesson that OP can take away from this is that this is probably not going to get better anytime soon. That he's an irresponsible partner and that he's willing to put his own selfish needs or own selfish desires over OP's actual needs because food is a necessity,
Mm-hmm.
a video game is not.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's this irresponsible with OP's grocery money, what other things will he be irresponsible with? Like, we hear so many stories where one partner will go and secretly buy a bunch of stuff and not pay the rent or utilities or bills or any other kinds of things. And then suddenly out of blue, they're like homeless now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely look into his spending habits and make sure that if this is something that this isn't a habit if OP wants to stay with this person.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And a shame struggle 7130 says, not the jerk. He's 21 and purposely chose to buy a video game instead of groceries. Should have had him return the game if he felt bad about buying it. And Jimbo Jangles 1987 says, what does he mean an honest mistake? How is it even a mistake? He got a game instead of groceries. Is he saying that they pulled the old switcheroo on him after he checked out and gave him a non-refundable game instead? And your yogurt says, OP, he stole from you. That alone wagers a breakup. You don't need this guy, especially at this age. And Poseidon Poker says, yeah, just because he's a boyfriend doesn't change the fact that he stole your money. And Tinkerbell2369 says, what's next? You move in together and he accidentally spends the money on magic beans? OP, please dump this guy. If you let him, he will lie and use you up. He needs to figure out how to grow up without you being there to catch him. Please report the theft. He needs to face consequences of his actions. Best of luck to you. What do you think about that comment and reporting him to the police?
I mean, I think it might not be enough money. Like, I don't know if they're going to be concerned over $50, And it's probably not going to be worth OP's time in that respect. It
Yeah.
might be just a lesson to move on and not be with someone who is that irresponsible with money.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. I don't know if the police would actually do anything in this situation. They might. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk If I End the Relationship After He Added His Ex-Wife to His New Phone Plan? My 42-year-old male boyfriend and I, a 40-year-old female, have been seeing each other for the past 8 months. We had a rough patch recently with the lack of boundaries that he has with his ex-wife. They met in middle school, dated after college, and divorced a couple of years ago. He's had multiple affairs and says that the relationship is over. Here's some context and some of the things that have happened in the past. If I'm missing the big picture, please tell me. He still has access to the Ring camera for the house that they shared, which is now hers. He says it's for his children's safety, but he's told me that he's heard her tell her friends stuff about him while he's watching. He got his dog after a year moving out, and he calls her the dog's mom, and drops the dog off for visits and overnight stays. He uninvited me from his niece's birthday so that she can attend. It's his brother's daughter. She told him that she doesn't want to meet me. We've never spoken to each other. He tried to fix this by telling her that it's her problem and re-invited me, but the damage was done. She hosts the spaghetti dinner with his parents while they're in town, and so they get together and I'm not invited. See the above point. I've shared that it doesn't make any sense that she gets to gatekeep his family, and he said that it's a 20-year tradition, and when I explained, as if the roles were flipped, he wasn't invited because of my ex-husband, he finally got it. He recently switched phone plans. She was still on his old phone plan, so he moved her over to the new phone plan because it was a better discount with more lines. I mean, why not just ask her to get her own plan? She has her own money, and he has his. Both are capable of paying for their own plans. I've talked to him about the pattern and lack of boundaries, but he said that it was a financial decision, not an emotional or personal one. He keeps himself tethered to his ex, and I'm at the point where I am going to end the relationship. So am I the jerk if I do so? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, no, go ahead and end that relationship. It's very clear that he is not over his ex and has some unhealthy relationship going on there with that. The Ring camera part in particular concerns me. Like, it sounds like he eavesdrops on her enough that he knows when she's talking to her friends about him.
Yeah.
That feels very, very creepy. And, like, I think that's, like, reason enough to, like, want to break up with him. Because, like, who's to say he won't monitor OP in her conversations with his friends to figure out what she's saying about him?
Yeah.
There's just, like, a number of things that just feel like he's not over her and they have some kind of very unhealthy attachment going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 months and OP can count their losses here, or cut their losses here. I mean, I think that this is one of those situations where he's giving off a tremendous number of red flags. She's giving off a tremendous number of red flags. OP, you don't need to be in this throuple. They sound like they're still a couple together, and he's being more considerate over his ex-wife than he is over his current partner.
Right, well, and he can't even think through, like, Opie has to, like, walk him through of, well, how would you feel if this was my ex-husband, for him to be like, oh yeah, I guess that would be hurtful.
Yeah. So I think that if OP were a wise individual, they would just cut and run, to be quite honest. Don't put yourself in the middle of a situation that you don't have to be in the middle of. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And MPan2501 says, not the jerk, hun. Go find you a man that does the opposite of what this guy does. And Attractive Brunette says, switching her to his phone plan is a huge boundary violation. It's not just a financial one. It shows that he's still prioritizing her in ways that are inappropriate. And Worldly Army 8647 says, yeah, F this guy for getting along with his ex, who he has kids with, and putting her in a phone plan that through child support and alimony needs being paid for one way or another. Absolutely F this guy. And OP replies, there's no child support or alimony between them, and having a healthy co-parenting relationship is important, but if you're going to bring in a new person into your life, you need to make space for them. The phone thing isn't an isolated matter. It matters compared to everything else that's been happening. So what do you think of that comment?
I mean, I think that was really overlooking some of like the Ring camera. I keep going back to that. Like, it just does not seem like a healthy relationship. Like, it could be argued that the phone plan itself isn't a big
Yeah,
deal,
yeah, yeah.
but it's not just the phone plan. Like, it looks like this person just overlooked everything and went straight to the phone plan. And it's like, but what about the Ring camera? What about him eavesdropping on the Ring camera?
Yeah,
Like,
and then the like prioritizing the wife with the family gatherings and all
right,
these other things, right? I actually, the thing I have the least problem with here
is the
is the
phone
phone
plan.
plan. Like that, I'm actually like, that's not actually that bad, because it's important for OP's partner to be able to contact their children. It's important for them to be able to have communication with their ex, and if their ex has a hard time keeping those lines open, then I mean that's not really that outside of the norm. And
Right.
I mean, I don't think that that's bad in isolation.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, but yeah, like I could see just that, but the whole like adding in everything else, like you were saying too, uninviting OP from family things because his ex-wife can't be a mature adult and just handle her presence, like that's not cool, and
Yeah.
that's not a thing for a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And our stock 1962 says, "Are you sure she cheated? Because it sounds more like he's the one who cheated and is still trying to get back with her." And OP replies, "Yes, she's the one who cheated." All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for divorcing my wife after she went into massive debt again?" I'm a 34-year-old male and I met my wife, a 32-year-old female, 5 years ago. She was 60K in debt from credit cards, personal loans, etc. A little while ago, after we got serious, I helped her get a consolidation loan from Consumer Credit Card Relief. I actually paid it all off on her behalf through them. Monthly payments, the whole deal. Things were going great for about 2 years. We got married, bought a house, and life was good. Then I started noticing packages arrive daily. She got secretive about the mail, bills were being hidden. When I finally confronted her, it turns out that she racked up another $45,000 in debt across 7 different credit cards. I was devastated. We tried counseling, financial, and marriage, but she kept spending behind my back. She even opened a card in my name. I filed for divorce last month. Now her family is blowing up my phone saying that I'm a jerk for abandoning her when she needs help the most. Am I the jerk for walking away? I feel like I tried everything and she betrayed my trust repeatedly. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, especially where she like opened up a credit card in OP's name without his consent.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is a sinking ship. And if OP doesn't want to go down with her, like, he can't restrict her whole access to finances. It seems like she just goes and gets new cards and everything. And so, yeah, I would not want to be buried into that kind of debt that I was not, you know, consenting to. He tried financial counseling and marriage counseling, and she refused to change and just like had decided, okay, we're married now. I can blow through all this money.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate lesson that OP has to walk away from this, but I mean, they I think honestly, OP's best move here is to lock their credit,
Mm-hmm.
divorce this individual and move on, right? And they tried helping this person out and it's just landed them up in a bad situation. No good deed goes unpunished type of thing, right? Now, the unfortunate part of all of this is that the $45,000, since it's in accumulated over the course of the marriage, he might be responsible for half of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the sooner that OP gets out of this, the less expensive it's going to be for them,
For
right?
sure, yeah. Um, and it's really tricky too with married couples because like the laws sometimes are weird about like your spouse being able to open things in your name and whatnot. Like the police won't necessarily pursue those matters.
I think in this particular case where she took out a credit card in his name, that would be identity fraud. I
Okay.
think that there are certain lines like because you unless you have like a power of attorney,
Mm,
you're not allowed to sign for somebody
that's a
even
good
if you're
point.
married to them. So I don't think that they have to worry about that in this particular case. I think the property is going to be a little bit of a sticky
Mm-hmm.
thing and the debt is going to be a bit of a sticky thing. But her signing his name, yeah, that's trouble right there. That's a felony. She may be going to jail if OP, ends up pursuing this legally. which
Yeah.
maybe OP should, because it might be easier to get this cleared from their name, right?
Yeah, and so she's put him in a really bad spot, and the thing is, she doesn't want to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't save someone who is not willing to be helped. Her family's saying, "Oh, well, this is when she needs you most." There's nothing OP can do for her. She's just going to keep accumulating more and more debt until they're sunk.
Yeah, and I mean, if the family is so worried about her, then
They can
maybe,
help
yeah,
her.
then maybe they can step up and help her out during this hard time. But OP already did more than, they should be required to do at this point in time. And I mean, I know marriage vows are for sickness and poor and, all those kinds of things, right? But
But you have to have a fundamental trust in your
yeah,
relationship. And if she's going behind OP's back and taking out credit cards in his name,
yeah.
like that is a massive violation of
Yeah,
trust.
well, even spending money behind your partner's back without
Yes.
telling them is a violation of trust.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that there is already a broach on her part because there's not any trust in this relationship because of her actions.
Right. It seemed like she was just content to spend everything they had and then what they didn't.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Choco Puff XO says, no, her family can just go away and they can help her pay her debt down if they really care. And Astra Let 7028 says, haha, actually, OP has already shouldered a significant financial burden by paying off her previous debt. It's unfair for them to be expected to do it again. And AK Cutter says, he will likely be partially responsible for the second pile of debt too. Unfortunately, that's how a divorce is. Alright, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call a celebration for a festive plant?
Oh, I would call a celebration for a festive plant a holly jolly holly plant.
A holiday.
Oh, a holiday. That
And
makes sense.
today is Make Up Your Own Holiday Day. So get to work on your holidays. Let us know what they are, and I'll tell you, I have a couple of made up holidays coming up. So there are a couple ones that I just made up in here because I like making up holidays.
Yes. I like making up holidays too. It's the holiday, the month-long holiday where Brian is the ruler of the planet.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Mine are just silly. Like I have Throw Leaves into the Air Day on November 1st, where if you're in an area with leaves, you throw leaves, and yeah.
Fine, I won't be the ruler of the planet. I'll be the ruler of the anthill outside of our house.
Okay. Have fun with that.
Yes, that's the holiday that I've invented. Be the king or queen of the anthill outside of your house. And that comes on August 17th. August
All right,
17th.
August 17th.
Be
We'll put it in
the
the calendar.
be the lord of the ants. It's a lot different than the lord of the flies. Certainly, probably a lot more civil. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, wonderful Wednesday, Hump Day, Friday, Junior's Eve. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a haiku for Haiku Wednesday.
If you spend money like it's water, then you will have a not good time.
That's very true. That's very true. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.